Hi, we're in Virginia City, Nevada, and here with my friend Joe. He's got a YouTube channel, Life with Josef, and he travels around. He's been doing this a lot longer than me, and so he's been gracious enough to give me a little tour around Virginia City, very historic town. And so I'm going to ask him some questions because he knows a lot more about this than I do. So let's go check it out. As you can see driving down through Virginia City, it is a spectacular old town with an amazing variety of buildings on both sides of the street. It goes for quite a while. I'm going to show you all around the town a little bit later in the video, but first let's kind of walk through and let Joe tell us what he knows about Virginia City.
I started coming up here in my mid-20s. I'm 62. I love it up here. Yeah, it's pretty touristy, but there's still the spirit of the Old West and the mining here. Nevada joined the Union in 1864. We're in Story County, S-T-O-R-E-Y. It's an original 1864 county, and Virginia City has always been the county seat. Now, if you go up a block to B Street, where the historic courthouse is, I think it was built in 1876, one of the few statues of justice that is not blindfolded. So this is one of the more unusual courthouses. If you've never been here before, if you're watching this video and you've never been here before, but you only have time to pass through, what would your advice be for some places to see a couple things, and obviously then you're heading out? If you're going to invest like an hour or two at the most, then I think the three things you need to see are the Bucket of Blood, and it's a historic place. Across the street is the Delta, where the suicide table is. You need to see that. That's also historic. And then, though it was closed when we walked by, the Bonanza has the famous, out the balcony in the back, they have the famous 100-mile view, which just you see forever in the eastern Nevada.
And so why is the Bucket of Blood and the Delta, like, tell me the stories
well,
about
the Bucket of
two.
Blood is named that because when it was founded back in when mining was the heyday here and the real reason for the existence of the town, there was so much violence in the bar that at the end of the day, when they mopped the floor, they were mopping up blood, and then you use a bucket of blood. It's a famous place. Now the Delta has the suicide table, which, if my memory serves, they play a card game up here called Faro, F-A-R-O, and they don't play it anymore because there's not enough advantage to the house, but there's been 2 or 3 cases where people have lost at Faro and literally deleted themselves right there on the table. Depending on how much time you have, I like the V&T, and it goes down the Gold Hill.
And that's the railroad.
Yeah, that's the railroad. That's the historic, they call it the Queen of the Short Lines.
And then they got a lot of, obviously, modern touristy things. We heard a gunshot for
they have the
for kids
shootout.
Like
there's a lot of touristy stuff here, which you got to keep the doors open. There's really not industry up here. There's no mining anymore, so they really do a pretty good job up here. So there are more traditional museums, how people lived, how they went to school. If that stuff interests you, then you're going to find some of that here as well. So it's a balance of shameless touristy hucksterism, which I'm good with, a lot of history.
Virginia City has a lot to offer. You could explore around, if you're a history buff, you could explore around this place for days. And it was fun to meet somebody who had been here. And, you know, whenever you're, you know, meeting someone for the first time, it's always good to have a connection. And me and Joe had this connection about traveling. He's traveled and I've traveled. And so a lot of things, you know, make getting to know each other a lot easier. So that was fun meeting him. It's always like meeting a track coach for me as well, because you know what being a track coach is like, or you know like what traveling through desolate places are like. And so you get an instant bond. So fun to make a new friend out here in Western Nevada. And you'd think that Virginia City, I mean, man, there's a lot to see here, but there's actually some other little towns kind of down the road. So as we're heading out of town, heading south down this 2-lane windy road, we'll check out what else is down the road.